I don't prefer any one style. I like to play country music. I like to play progressive rock, folk music. I just played in Montenegro with Serbs, Russians, Mongolian, Montenegrin, Ukraine, Finland, America, many musicians. So I'm playing all there. I like it. It's very fresh to me, you know. Maybe they know it, but to me it's fresh. The music I don't like to play is very little that I don't like to play. But when I was young, like every musician, I would play top 40. You know what I mean? When you're in a bar, like a hotel, and you play Don't Go Changin', oh fuck, I hate that, you know? Yeah, I hate playing those feelings. Nothing more than like schmaltzy. I call schmaltzy. That's the only music I don't like to play. It's insincere to me.
Correct.
Well, the most important project for me is King Crimson. That's my number one, and King Crimson's working again, so that's my top priority. And King Crimson this year will be active. We toured last year in America. This year, mostly in England, and then a little bit in Europe. Only 3 shows in Paris, 2 shows in Holland. That's all Robert wants to do. And then I can tell you now, we're going to take a short break in October, and Stickman will play in Europe for October since we're already there. And then it was just announced, I can tell you, that King Crimson will go to Canada. So we'll go across Canada, Quebec, Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, Victoriaville. So we'll go across there. That's my number one priority. Already this year, I went once already to rehearse with Gavin and Bill Rieflin, the 3 drummers. So we rehearse without the band, the 3 drummers, to make our organization. And after this tour, when I come home from South America, that's where I go. Is another week with Gavin and Bill. So then my other priority would be Stickmen. You know, we've been playing now for 5 years, Tony and I, and we have Marcus in the band now. So we're preparing another Stickmen record. We've been working already for a year on the compositions. Tony Levin went to Berlin to work with Marcus to do some writing, passing files, but we won't really do most of the recording till later this year. The record will come out next year. I also have a new record. It's not announced yet, but with Marcus and I, we do a duo we call Tuner. And Tuner has a new record. We spent about 5 years making a record. One song, 35 minutes long, very epic.
More experimental.
It's not experimental, no. Well, it's based on algorithms and mathematics, and this dictates the formula. So it's a non-repeating song for 35 minutes, but the composition comes from a spreadsheet. We use mathematics to determine the numbers, and then we make the numbers tell us the rhythm, not the rhythm, but the time signature, the tempos, 2 notes to supply the 3rd note by the human. So there's an interpretation we do, but it's a very hard record to explain. The record folds in half, but it does not repeat. And the bar lines are very strange because it's all dictated by mathematics, and then we try to work within those confines. It's like if you say, you can only paint with blue, like Picasso. Everything has to fit the formula. And this record is actually 2 records. We only have one done, 35 minutes. The other 35 minutes, we're still working on. When they come together, they go like this, or like this. Okay? It's very mathematic. Marcus is like genius with, it's quite often very light. It's not always heavy. It uses a lot of different instrumentations, violins and horns and banjos and hand drums and stick drums and brush drums and
Electronic music.
electronic some, but it's not like electronica. No, it's more organic. We wanted it to be organic. Well, that's something I've been working on a long time. More recently, about a year ago, not even a year ago, I met a guy in Slovakia, David Kohler. He plays guitar, does movie, and a trumpet player from Italy, Paolo Ranieri. And the three of us, we toured in last November in Slovakia. We did 6 shows and we did a recording session. And now we'll finish that recording session. I can show you, the record is done. It's just getting done right now. It'll come out in about 2 weeks on the CD. Then the vinyl takes a long time. And my friend Adam Jones from the band Tool, he helped, he did some artwork that he offered us to use. Have you seen this? I put it online maybe a little while ago. Pretty fucking great, huh? That's the front cover. And Adam from Tool did that. And that is actually his demo. This we call Komara. I can send you a press release. And then there's more, but nobody knows this one yet. Nobody knows. I haven't shown anybody, but also Adam does this. Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. So that is called Komara. K-O like Kohler, M-A like Mastelotto,
Yeah.
R-A like Ranieri, the trumpet player.
Perfect.
So it's very heavy, but it's very light. I don't know. It's a bit more jazz. It's a lot of electronica.
Progressive.
It's very progressive, but not like Yes. It's not like progressive rock like Yes and Genesis. No, it's not like that at all. I don't really do anything much like that. There's another project that's coming out right now that's very good. It's called Ork, O-R-K. Ork is an Italian, 2 Italians. The bass player is Colin from Porcupine Tree. And we call that Ork. They just sent the cover. If I can find it, the cover just came in the email. That is Ork. O-R-K. Let's think. There's other projects. Oh, we just played in Japan, Stickmin with David Cross, the violin player from King Crimson.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did 4 shows in Japan. We recorded those. That's already mixed. It'll come out in about, I think, 2 weeks. It's very, very close. Yeah, it's very good. I've only just heard a little, I did the playing and listen and yeah, busy. I want to tell you something. Do you notice this record? Do you ever listen to Ginger Baker? You know Ginger Baker? You ever have Ginger Baker's Air Force? That record, Ginger Baker's Air Force?
No.
After Cream, after Blind Faith, he had a band, Ginger Baker's Air Force. 3 drummers, Phil Seaman, Ginger Baker, Remy Kabak. And he makes a record that's left-handed. My CD is left-handed. That's the front. This is my tribute to Ginger Baker, left-handed.
Okay.
Because I saw you trying to open, you were struggling. It's a backwards. I don't listen to that many in my own world. I don't know how to pronounce names very well. There's a great Hungarian drummer. Gorgio? He's fucking great. I have to look him up on the Wi-Fi, on the internet. I don't know, man. I'm just in my own little world. I'm not listening. I get too much music to work on. So other young drummers, Merlin Ettore, Jason McKenzie. These are guys you don't know. Young guys. Tobias is fucking great. Yeah, just lots and lots of. I turn on YouTube. It's like great drummers all over.
Yeah.
Very young. With practice and organization. Yeah, we organize.
It's like discipline?
Yeah, well, you mean Discipline the song?
No.
Well,
Probably yes.
like even right now, I'm trying to download a file from Gavin. Let me check that out. Yeah, so we do a lot of this. You send it, we transfer,
We
Dropbox,
transfer, yes.
and these are some more live tapes, but I have about 6 here to go through that he sent yesterday. We have new drum duets and some new songs. So we start, the drummers get together alone, just the drummers.
Just drummers.
Yeah, and then, we do Skype and email and all that first, and we make a plan. And then we get together and we rehearse, just the three of us, and we make a little bit of a tape that we can play to. So maybe a little bit of guitar or something that we can listen.
Okay.
We can play and we can listen. And we do that at Gavin's studio the last 3 times. Kind of low volume, not high intensity. And that helps us get organized. And then we rehearse again without the band, but on bigger drum sets on a bigger stage.
With more volume,
Yeah, more volume, but with the electronics.
Okay.
Like that's what we'll do next time. Is we'll actually have some amplification. When we just rehearsed, there was no point to have.
Okay.
And Bill Rieflin plays keyboards. Bill plays keyboards and other things, but for those rehearsals, we don't do that.
Okay.
And then we listen, and we go, hey, you need to take that beat away, because we don't want to play at the same time on top of each other.
Okay.
One of the worst things you can do with multiple drummers is play the bass drums, because they're always.
Yeah.
So you don't want those flams down there. So you have to dictate, okay, you get to play the bass drum at that moment. And this other place, you get to play the bass drum.
All right.
And so sometimes it's weird because you're going to go, and you can't do the bass drum at the end. It's his bass drum. You know what I mean? So it's just by intuition or by playing drums your whole life, you get in these habits.
Okay.
There's always a foot under your cymbal, but now no foot. Or maybe my foot has to come after the crash. You know? So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, those are my beats. I don't get to play the off beats or whatever. We change all the time. So we don't have one strict formula.
Okay.
We do it and we listen and we decide. Yeah, we make a choice. And that's very difficult, actually.
Yeah.
Because, acoustic drums are great. You know when you hit it, it's going to be quiet or loud by your energy.
You use a DW, right?
DW drums, yeah.
Yeah. Which one with the X?
Well, I play so many different drums, dude.
Yeah.
These aren't my drums tonight. And anytime I play in Chile, I don't have my drums.
Yeah.
With Mr. we brought our equipment, but I probably play on about at least 50 different drum kits every year.
Okay.
Because in Montenegro, those weren't my drums.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a hi-hat clutch. The part that makes the hi-hat go up? I couldn't do that. I just had a hi-hat stand, and I set the cymbal there. Tick, 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 tick. they couldn't find a clutch. Some days you have 2 bass drums, some days you have 1 pedal. Sometimes what fucks me up is I like to have a 16 and an 18. Sometimes I get a 14. And it's so small, I miss the drum. Lately when I get the small drums, I put the 16 in front and then the 14 behind it. But you asked me about the dynamics, because the hard thing is that the electronic drums, it's hard to get the balance right.
Okay.
And if you're playing with a loop or a sequence or something on stage, I need to hear it pretty loud to play with it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean in the house that you, as a listener, it should be in the track.
Right.
So sometimes that's hard for the mixer in the house to understand. I only have it loud up here so I can hear it, and there it needs to be blended. And then there's.
But you always trouble with your sound guy?
No, not always at all. We do
like a Russian roulette.
I had a Russian guy 3 weeks ago. Didn't speak any English, and I can't even.
Oh.
He had all the microphones in the monitor. There were 7 or 8 singers on stage, so he had about 25 microphones in my monitors. I only need one, the bass drum, and maybe the little bit of the singer. That's all I want in my monitor. I don't want
the whole thing.
I don't want mics that aren't even being used.
No.
Wind in my monitor, and every tom, boom, boom. I don't need this stuff. Overheads. He had the overheads in the monitors. It's
you have it right there.
Yeah,
Come on.
it was crazy, but we can't speak to him to understand. He doesn't. It's crazy. But even when you play the electronic drums, if the balance, if the level is not right, you have to make adjustments. So you see a lot when I play, I have a mixer usually here. So while I'm playing, I usually have to adjust the...
But you move your own sound. You're not messing with the levels.
Not for the guitar or the singer, no, not in this band, no. Just...
It's a hard thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard. Sometimes it's like you need to say stop. Stop 1 minute, I get everything right, now we start again.
That's it.
And if you play the same songs every night, in the same order, in the same room, with the same equipment, then you can probably get that organized.
Right.
You know, but in most of the music I play, we improvise, we play on different equipment, we play a little room one day, a big room another room, one day it's concrete, one day it's wood, it always sounds different, so it always has to be adjusted in the moment. I don't know, because I don't know. It's a strange genre, progressive rock.
Yeah.
Because to me, when progressive rock, when they say this is progressive rock in 1970 or something, it meant progressive.
Right.
It meant progress. Okay? Now it doesn't mean that anymore. Progressive rock means nostalgia. Yeah. It means we sound like 1970, 1975. Pink Floyd, Yes, Genesis. Those were great bands. But I'm not interested in that. I don't want to...
Move on.
No. To me, progressive music, I like to play progressive music. I don't want to...
Be stuck in the past.
I like prog rock, but as a genre, that doesn't interest me really. I would be more interested in something that is truly progressive. Okay. Dance music, electronic music, world music, those hybrids are much more progressive to me.
Right.
That's what I'm interested in.
Fusions.
Yeah, but I don't want to try to play in a band that sounds like Yes.
Like Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me. Not very many. You guys, I've seen you guys 3 times.
What do you think about Chrysalida?
You're great.
Yeah?
You're great. And I did get your last record when we played in Baja, Prague.
Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. I had your record, and I left. When we left that day, we went to San Diego, I guess. Everybody flew home from San Diego, but I didn't. I rented a car, and I drove up to Los Angeles to see my mom. My mom's had a stroke. She's in a hospital. Oh. So I listened to your record maybe 3 or 4 times because it's about I took the coast. I drove up on the beach, so it wasn't the fastest way on the 405 that I went up. And I listened to your record. It's the only record I listened to. I had one CD, put it over and over and over again. So yeah, so I heard that record a lot. But that was 3 years ago.
Do you remember a particular song you caught your attention?
The first song was definitely the best. The one's in 6/8. I don't remember what it is, but yeah. I can't remember now. Too many other songs. I doubt it.
Doubt it?
Yeah. That decision isn't for me.
Yeah.
But we rehearsed over the year for 7 weeks.
Okay.
So we had many, many more rehearsals than gigs. And the drummers got together besides that. So we put in, I don't know what, 4 times as much rehearsal.
Okay.
Stickmen, we're lucky if we can rehearse one day. Ever.
But that's kind of the magic of the band, probably.
Things come
how
together.
to blend together, like in this situation, like improvisational situation, right?
Yeah, when Marcus joined the band, we had 2 rehearsals in Buenos Aires. So very, very different with Crimson. Yeah, I'd like to bring Comora, the thing I just talked about. I'd like to bring Orc, this other thing. This is difficult. We don't know if we could tour with this because it's Tobias and I, and there's some other musicians on there, Tony and different people. So that's not really made to tour. If we did something like this, it would be more like a drum festival, and maybe we pre-record some of those tracks, and Tobias and I would play with the pre-recorded tracks.
Maybe Andesburg.
Andesburg, probably.
Well, the problem is always the scheduling and the time. You know, if it's only one gig far away, it never works. Everything has to, the logistics, you know, the days have to match that you can go
from this play to the other.
Yeah. I mean, we see this all the time. People want to know right now, why didn't we play in Panama City? We played last time. Or why didn't we play in Venezuela? Or because the promoter didn't offer a date that would fit the schedule.
Well, maybe the venue or the equipment or whatever.
Yeah, there's other factors. It's not like he's being mean. It's like,
no.
There's other situations. Maybe he has another band that week. I don't know all the reasons. So that happens a lot.
From your experience.
Yeah. Well, you mean for musicians, right?
Yes, for musicians.
Just to play because you really like to play, you know, to create music. A lot of times the motivation is to be on MTV or to be on the radio or to make a lot of money or to get laid or all these other things. That's all good, but there's no security to be a musician. There's no insurance. There's, you know, as you get older, sometimes you think and you realize, well, if I went to school, I could make my family have, you know, income and insurance. My wife doesn't have to work. You know, a lot of time musician, my income goes up and down. You know, I made some good money with Mr. but a year or two later, I was back to making no money. You know, so I'm trying to say, don't be motivated by the money.
Yeah.
That's my best advice, because the money will go away. Hi, I'm Pat Mastelotto from King Crimson. I'm just saying hi to the people of Andes Rock.
Andes
Is that
Rock.
okay?
And this Prog.
Prog, okay. I told you. Hi, this is Pat Mastelotto from King Crimson, and I'm wishing you guys well at Andes Prog.